Hi, good afternoon to all the viewers of Billy. Today, we at ProsTalk, we've invited a group of professionals that will talk about, warehousing. I think that's a very great and a very relevant business nowadays because of the situation that we are in. I think a lot of people are saying that, with the vaccine, are we going to go back to normal or what will happen next? And the truth is, nobody knows. No one really knows what's next. And so as we navigate through the new normal, I know gas na po yan, no? But it's a new normal because the reality is we don't know. One of the major expanding service in the Philippines and all throughout the world is warehousing. So today, I'm so happy to have VST ECS Philippines to talk through how do you future-proof your warehouse. And today, our guest, one of our speakers is Linugo. Hi, El.
Hi. Hi, Miss Natalie. All
hello,
right.
hello.
So good day, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. And we're very excited to hear about the technology around warehouse, right? We can talk about all the safety and all that. But I think for the audience, sir, can you just quickly, briefly introduce your company and what you do for customers and for businesses?
All right. So thank you, Miss Natalie. So as for VST ECS, well, VST ECS is known for its very competitive IT distribution products where it varies depending on your preference. So all the way from consumer up to the enterprise solution. So now supporting with the COVID-19 scenario right now, ang ginagawa po namin is we still deliver the utmost technology that most of our consumers are really needed to, no? So may it be ranging from your laptops that you use at home and even doon sa ating mga warehouse solutions, logistics, mga mobile computers and all that.
Right. So El, your company is actually wide ranged, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So multiple products and services. So specifically for warehouse, El, what is the technology that allows you to manage the warehouse efficiently and effectively?
All right. So for the management of warehouse, actually it varies depending on your perspective. But in terms of the security, it is not only about the CCTV and all that, but also we need to consider when it comes to warehouse, especially COVID-19, fewer na lang po yung mga nagmamanage internally. So yung visibility natin when it comes to prevention ng mga fire is quite significant. So ibig sabihin, as per VST ECS, we have certain solutions that can address and monitor safely as early as possible kung meron bang presence of fire or smoke doon sa ating mga warehouses. So those are one of the many solutions that our company can offer.
That's fantastic. No, actually, recently may mga unfavorable news, very sad news, mga explosion, and yes. Right now, given the situation na hindi lahat ng workforce nasa office or nasa warehouse, nagkakaroon syempre ng challenges in terms of maintaining the safety siguro, no? So, El, why don't you walk us through that technology that you guys have in your company that you feel will help those who have existing warehouses and those that are thinking of putting up warehouses? What's the technology behind that and how can that benefit the viewers?
All right. So with that regards, first I would like to share a slide para at least dun sa ating mga viewers will have a visual representation or graphical representation of what I'm talking about. All right. Thank you, Natalie. Actually, when we talk about warehouses and even on other commercials, because as per COVID-19, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga restrictions going to the office. So basically, in terms of management, the managers have a trouble going in and out in our certain facility, of course, to ensure the safety and while protecting business continuity. So as per my topic, I would like to highlight a certain topic such as detecting fire before it actually happens, okay? Since kakunti lang yung mga tao na currently nasa warehouse o kaya currently nandun sa office natin, is yung COVID-19, it actually have a huge impact in terms of our business operation. So with this regards, talking about detecting fire in a certain facility, it actually may varies, no? So depending on the category of our building, sabihin natin for example na you have a private office, you have a warehouse, residential, or even commercial, but detecting fire before it actually happens, ibang usapan na po siya. So it is another level of technology and is way more advanced or complex compared with our conventional smoke detectors. Okay, so for us to have a better understanding, I will be giving you a walkthrough towards doon sa natin sa mga technologies. So let us first discuss ano nga ba yung mga technologies na meron tayo in the market, no? Para magkaroon tayo ng konting overview. So first we have here is the different types of smoke detectors. Okay. So firstly, we have here the photoelectric. So as you know, photoelectric is one of the most commonly used in the market. You can find this wherever you go, especially dun sa mga commercial mga buildings. You have here the private offices. Even when you go to the mall, no, you can purchase this even in the warehouse, nun sa mga natin, sa mga hardware shops, no. So this is the photoelectric, which uses the technology of photo sensors. So meron siyang nakabuilt in sa kanya. Next, we have the ionization type. So the ionization is actually type of smoke detectors that use a chemical reaction whenever there's a catalyst. Yung smoke natin is na detect. However, due to its chemical catalyst na medyo radioactive siya, na-pace out na siya. And then last but not the least, of course, yung ating projected beam. So ito yung pinaka-common, no? Especially, this type of technology is used in mainly for warehouses because of the high ceiling requirements, yung mga mahahabang hallways or something like that. So this is very much applicable. However, ang kanyang detection is not similar dun sa photoelectric natin, which is naka-enclose lamang siya sa isang equipment. So this is an end-to-end. So ibig sabihin, from point A to point B ng warehouse mo, you can have a detection. So dinidetect niya yung mga presence of smoke by attenuation of the light. So ibig sabihin po, yung ating mga projected beam is emitting a certain frequency or certain light, and kapag yung kabilang end is mababa yung light na na-receive niya, possible na merong smoke. However, all of these three solutions or technologies that I've mentioned earlier might be possible of the false alarm, no? So pwede sila maka-encounter ng mga false alarm signals. So with that regards, we have here what we call the aspirating smoke detector. So the aspirating smoke detector is actually one of the different types of smoke detectors that we have currently in the Philippine market. So pinaka-application po nito is mostly on the critical mission facility. So critical mission facility actually covers all of the livelihood that we might have now. So ibig sabihin, ranging from the cold storages, from your normal warehouses, or even yung sa ating mga data center facility. So not to mention, meron ako dito mga numbers indicated on the screen. So these numbers actually, it represents yung yung value of the sensitivity. So if you would notice, this aspirating smoke detector has the widest range of value. So if you would notice, we have the 0.005 up to the 20.5%. So ibig sabihin, it will give you the utmost flexibility that you can find in a certain type of smoke detection. Okay? So actually, these three technologies that I've mentioned earlier, we call it the reactive. Okay? So again, reactive siya because it only waits for the smoke to come up into the ceiling. All right. Unlike with the aspirating smoke detector, I call this the proactive because it aspirates. No, from the word itself imply, aspirate. It means draw samples of air. So I will be discussing this type of technology as we go along with the presentation. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So this aspirating smoke detection, as per Honeywell building technology, we have here the product called VESDA. Okay. So VESDA is a acronym for a very early smoke detection apparatus, also known as aspirating smoke detector or highly sensitive smoke detector, HSSD, and air sampling smoke detector. So this is the common terminologies that you may find when you search for it, no? So yun siya. All right. So saan ba siya nag-work and how it works, no? So since si VESDA, it aspirates the air samples from a secured facility o doon sa area na gusto nating i-monitor, it acts in the incipient stage. So as you know, the stages of fire is actually triggered siya from the smoldering. Okay? So whatever starts yung fire natin, sabihin natin, will it be ignition or mga loose connectivity ng mga circuits natin. So basically, it starts from a certain amount of fire or smoke natin. So we call this the incipient stage. So possible na encounter mo na siya before, whereas kapag pumasok ka ng isang room, nakakamoy ako ng parang may nasusunog, pero hindi mo nakikita yung smoke. We call it the incipient stage. So with that one, yung ating VESDA actually will give you 3 alert triggers. No? So firstly, we have here the VESDA alert, which will give you an instant notification that there is a presence of smoke, pero hindi siya visible sa naked eye. Now, if that presence of smoke is elevated, kumbaga dumadami yung smoke na nare-receive ng ating detector, it will level up into the VESDA action. So that VESDA action can give you a notification or via relay a communication to trigger a certain siren or even yung mga strobe lights natin for audible and visual alarms that will notify yung mga tao natin within the facility. Okay? And then for the VESDA Fire 1, ito naman po yung pwede natin siyang i-integrate sa existing fire alarm control panel na meron tayo sa isang area or doon sa facility natin. Okay? And of course, meron din tayo ditong stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4 when we talk about doon sa ating fire stages, no? So within the stage 2, dito pa lamang po nagti-trigger yung ating mga photoelectric sensors or even yung ating mga projected beam. So basically, kailangan sunog na yung ating equipment, no? Sunog na yung mga goods natin. And of course, we do not want that as much as possible.
Right.
So of course, we also have here different technologies, existing technologies rather, that can give us a notification when there's a certain fire, no? So this is the fire detection. And then meron din tayo ditong stage 4, which is intense heat, na dito na magti-trigger yung mga sprinkler. And ang kadalasan challenges po kasi when we talk about warehouses, sprinkler, okay naman yung ibang mga fire suppression, actually it is a good thing that you might have, no? That is the last layer of security when we talk about fire safety. Okay? Pero remember, sprinkler or fire suppressions are only dedicated to protect the human lives, okay? Right. And of course, the facility. However, as a warehouse, when we talk about warehouses, we want to make sure and we want to protect the livelihood, ibig sabihin, the products that we have internally.
Right. So really quick lang, no? So essentially, what you're explaining right now is, kasi for most people, right, ang conventional fire detection would really come from, yun nga, to your point, no? Yung traditional na kailangan ma-sense niya muna yung smoke, right?
Yes.
And what you're explaining here, para po dun sa mga nanonood, those who are watching, right? To your point, if it's a warehouse, it's possible that walang tao.
Yeah, right? The probability, yeah.
Yes. So this product that you have, the VESDA from Honeywell, is your more proactive or unconventional solution that you feel is better for warehouses.
Yeah. It is similar to putting another layer of security, and with that another layer of security, it will give you an ample time to react whenever there's a certain notification of first stages of fire, and of course, it will give you eventually the peace of mind.
Right. So thank you, El. Please continue. No, I just wanted to make sure that we take a pause there. So if there are questions from those who are watching ProsTalk, please feel free to send us your questions, no, so that while we have El, we can answer. Now, if your questions are not answered here, for sure we will answer that directly, no, for those who are watching. So continue on, El.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So as we go along with the presentation, I would like to share to you some videos. Okay, this is actually a official video of VESDA on how it reacts in a certain high airflow environment. As we know, mission critical spaces such as your warehouses where you put your inventory or your stocks, no, sa ating mga paninda sa ating business, and even dun sa ating mga data centers where we put all of our intellectual assets into the servers. So we want to make sure that even the tiniest amount of smoke can still be detected, and how are we going to react? Okay, what will happen? Okay.
Hello, I'm Steve Joseph, Director of Market Development for Extrellis. I'm here today to demonstrate the performance of VESDA versus traditional spot type detection, specifically in mission critical spaces. And so what we have here today is a demonstration kit that's intended to show just that, the performance of VESDA against spot type detectors when subject to high air velocities. Mission critical spaces have various challenges associated with the environment, that being high air velocities intended to keep the equipment cool, and of course dilution that occurs from the results of the high air velocities. So with this test, what we have is a spot type detector that normally would reside at the ceiling, mounted to this hood. The hood also has a connection point to the VESDA detector, as you can see, with the intent of drawing air through this hood back to the VESDA detector. So to start this test, we'll turn on the fan, we'll generate the airstream. Again, we're going to ramp up to about 350 CFM, and the idea is that when you have a condition such as this, in a high air velocity, traditional spot type detectors subject to high air velocity have a challenge performing. And as you'll see here, smoke coming off the resistor, and we're watching performance. Already, VESDA has detected this occurrence. The spot type detector has no indication of that event occurring. So, with incipient smoke from a developing condition being very buoyant, having very little thermal lift to get to the ceiling, it's very much influenced by the air velocities such that it migrates to the return paths of air handling units. And so for this particular test, what we'll do is generate some smoke using test smoke and from a distance and show that smoke migrates with the air currents and the performance of either a spot type detector or a VESDA in that condition. So with that, I'll walk over here, generate a little bit of smoke, and we'll check the performance. VESDA already detected that occurrence. The spot type detector has no response, as can be expected. So the next test I'll perform is just how much smoke does it take to trip a traditional spot type detector in a high airflow environment. So with that, we'll generate continuous bursts of smoke. And already you see VESDA responding. Still no response from the spot type detector. We'll continue this until we actually get a response from the spot type detector. Still no response from the spot type detector. In the meantime, VESDA's going gangbusters. And at some point, we should have a response. And there you have it. Now, the next thing I want to show is the convenience of VESDA in a mission-critical space. Mission-critical spaces have many obstructions, whether that be server racks, equipment, process piping, cable trays, and trying to get to spot-type detectors on the ceiling of a mission-critical space can sometimes be challenging. So with the convenience of VESDA, we have the ability to pipe down to a low level, whereas a spot-type detector would require each and every point be accessed, whether it be a ladder, scaffolding, or special equipment to get to that detector. So in this configuration, what we have here is a special fitting that allows us to simply connect a port, conduct a smoke transport time test, and as soon as you have a response from the detector, you've conducted your test of your system, and you simply disconnect your point and move on to your next test point. And the fact is you can have as many as 20, 30, maybe 40 sampling points, or perhaps 60 sampling points, which is the equivalent of 60 spot type detectors. And with one test, I've just tested my entire system versus having to get on a ladder or special scaffolding to get to each and every spot type detector to perform my annual test and inspection. So in summary, for mission critical type spaces, VESDA provides the best return of investment, providing very early warning fire protection, ease of maintenance, test and inspection, and is able to withstand the dynamics of the environment associated with mission critical spaces. Thank you.
All right. So with that, that is the video on explaining the high airflow environment for the VESDA. Okay.
Right.
So, all right. So this will actually be short, no? This is actually representing the VESDA in different applications that can be used in the air ducts, or maybe it be directly on the rack cabinets or under the raised flooring of your data centers. And some application is actually based on Hong Kong or even worldwide, because VESDA is known for its first accuracy, no? So for example, in this cathedral or museum, so usually we put a certain smoke detectors anywhere, okay, but because of the architectures, they want unobtrusive type of smoke detector, so they use VESDA. So VESDA use a flexible hose to do a detection into a certain point, and even used in the hotels, whereas it is very hidden, no? So ibig sabihin hindi siya kita or hindi siya pansin. So this is one of the beauty of VESDA. And most probably you've already encountered this, or you might already be having a certain warehouse na mataas yung kanyang ceiling. So the challenges of the normal spot type detector is that yung challenge for the smoke is nag-stratify siya in the middle. However, with the VESDA, we can actually pipe into the process ng pinaka-building natin. And since it is a active smoke detector, it draws samples of air, it creates airflow. So ibig sabihin yan, hindi magi-stratify in the middle. Whereas dun sa conventional, kailangan pa niyang antayin na sobrang lakas na ng usok o sobrang dami na ng usok para mag-reach siya dun sa ceiling natin. So yun po yung kanyang pinaka-applications, whereas it is so flexible that you can actually use it in anywhere in most cases of the scenario. Pero here in the Philippines, we actually maximize these types of technology, especially dun sa ating mga critical mission facilities. All right, so here are some warehouse examples that you might find interesting. So you can visit this website and even check out these applications na meron ng po mga VESDA installation worldwide.
All right. I think, yeah, thank you so much, El, for the very, very thorough, detailed technical specifications of what this technology does. I think for the viewers, one important takeaway po is you need this advanced technology to protect the product in the warehouse itself. Unlike traditional or conventional fire detection technology, where humans are assumed to be in the facility, is a warehouse technology that my strong presumption that there is nobody there, no human, and therefore it is critical that merong way to detect these things, kasi nga what you're really protecting dito yung asset that's in the warehouse. No, so if this is a personal warehouse for your personal product, then yung products mo. Now, if your business is warehousing and a lot of companies are using your warehouse, then you're protecting the interest of the companies that have invested in your warehouse. So I think for those who are watching, ito po yung significance and importance of this VESDA technology by Honeywell, because it will help you, it will give you the time you need to respond appropriately. Tama ba, El?
Correct po. Exactly.
So I think for those who are watching, and why Buildy is really pushing this through ProsTalk, kasi a lot of people sometimes have this misconception na what works for one scenario will work for all scenarios. In this particular episode of Buildy, where we're talking about future-proofing your warehouse, El from VST is explaining how you need to adapt the technology to the situation that you're in. Medyo parang reverse, right? So for those who are watching, I hope if you need more information, because we understand that this is a little bit of a technical discussion, no? There is a forum where you can drop your question and ask further questions. But rest assured po, no, for the audience of ProsTalk, we will have several more discussions with the MSEI team for them to actually talk about other products and services that they have to safeguard the warehouse, which is right now one of the key in very important business as we support the ECQ, the MECQ. Kailangan po ang warehouses right now. So with that, Elle, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience as we wrap this episode of ProsTalk?
Yeah, and that's it actually. So this is more of the summary of my presentation. Just like to highlight that the Honeywell Building Technology provides a variety of solutions, whether it be your data center, physical infrastructure, all the way from CCTV, ASD, and even your mga fire suppression. So bottom line, VESDA provides a very early smoke detection, giving you the time to eliminate or mitigate the risk of downtime caused by fire. So thank you very much, Natalie. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you so much, Elle, for that very informative presentation of the non-conventional advanced warning system of VST ECS Philippines. So for those who are watching, if you need to know more about this product, please go to their website and check out their products. So with that, tune in po for the next episode of ProsTalk, where we will talk more to the rest of the team of VST ECS Philippines. Again, thank you for sharing your time with us today. Thank you.